Blackwood Cemetery, an old and overgrown resting place, lay at the edge of a dense forest. The village nearby whispered of dark secrets buried within its grounds, a tale of an ancient family curse that had plagued the town for generations. The legend began with the Blackwood family, who were once the wealthiest and most powerful in the region. They owned vast lands and lived in a grand mansion overlooking the cemetery. But their fortune came with a price, a curse that doomed them to a life of tragedy and sorrow. The curse was said to have been placed upon the family by a vengeful witch named Morgana, whom the Blackwoods had wronged many years ago. Morgana had been wrongfully accused of witchcraft and sentenced to death by the Blackwoods. With her dying breath, she cursed them, vowing that their bloodline would suffer for eternity. Over the years, the Blackwood family experienced a series of unexplained deaths and misfortunes. The once grand mansion fell into ruin, and the cemetery became a place of dread. Visitors reported hearing ghostly whispers and seeing shadowy figures among the tombstones. The most feared part of the cemetery was the forgotten crypt, said to hold the remains of the cursed family. One foggy evening, a historian named Jonathan arrived in the village, determined to uncover the truth behind the Blackwood curse. Armed with old maps and a lantern, he ventured into the cemetery, guided by the whispers of the past. As he approached the crypt, the air grew colder, and the fog thickened, obscuring his path. The entrance to the crypt was marked with ancient symbols and an inscription that read, "Here lies the cursed bloodline of the Blackwoods. May their souls find no rest." Undeterred, Jonathan pushed open the heavy stone door and descended into the darkness. The air inside was thick with the scent of decay, and the walls were lined with dusty coffins. In the center of the crypt, he found an ornate sarcophagus, its lid adorned with the image of a grieving woman. Suddenly, the temperature plummeted, and ghostly figures appeared, their eyes filled with sorrow and pain. Among them was Morgana, her eyes burning with a mix of anger and regret. "Why have you come?" she whispered, her voice echoing through the crypt. "I seek the truth," Jonathan replied, his voice trembling. "I want to end the curse and bring peace to the Blackwood family." Morgana's ghostly form seemed to waver, and she pointed to an old, tattered book resting on a pedestal. "The truth lies within," she whispered. "Uncover it, and the curse will be lifted." Jonathan opened the book, discovering a detailed account of Morgana's life and the wrongs she had suffered at the hands of the Blackwoods. He learned that she had been a healer, falsely accused of witchcraft by the jealous and spiteful family. Her curse was born out of a desperate need for justice. With newfound determination, Jonathan returned to the village and shared his findings. The villagers, moved by Morgana's story, held a ceremony to honor her memory and seek forgiveness for the wrongs of the past. As they gathered in the cemetery, the ghostly figures appeared one last time, their eyes now filled with gratitude. Morgana's spirit, finally at peace, whispered a final blessing, and the eerie occurrences ceased. The curse was lifted, and the cemetery returned to a place of quiet repose.